Hi friends, it's Mrs. Rocco. Hope everyone's doing well. We're trying to stay busy here. I miss coming into your classrooms to see you, so I thought that I would make this video and read you a book today. The book I chose is a book by Eric Carle, one of my favorite authors, and it's Mister Seahorse. This used to be one of my kids' favorite books to read to them because they love all different kinds of sea creatures. Before I start reading, these are just some of the things that we've been doing around the Rocco household to keep us busy and active. This is Josie. I was doing yoga the other day, and Josie thought I spread out the mat for her to lay down, but she loves when I do yoga. She does it right along with me. And the boys have been cooking. We made Josie some dog treats. Tyler made some muffins. They've been outside a lot, playing basketball and baseball, still practicing their favorite sports. Nicholas and I were lifting weights the other day. Tyler's been keeping up with his football routine and lifting, and they went fishing the other day. So that's what we've been doing to stay active. Okay, Mister Seahorse by Eric Carle. This is a picture of Eric Carle, and I've actually been to his museum out in Amherst, Massachusetts. If you ever get a chance to go, it's a really fun museum with lots of artwork and even an art room that you can create some art yourself. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Mrs. Seahorse began to wiggle and twist, this way and that. Time for me to lay my eggs, she said. Can I help? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, yes, thank you, said Mrs. Seahorse, and she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. I'll take good care of our eggs, said Mr. Seahorse. I promise. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. What's in there? A group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Stickleback? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Delighted, replied Mr. Stickleback. I just built a nest, and right away Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs into it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. Keep up the good work, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Camouflage in there. Oh, a lionfish hidden behind a coral reef. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Tilapia? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. Mrs. Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you are taking good care of them until they hatch. Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. Mm-hmm. You must be very happy, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. I can't tell what's hiding in there. Oh, several leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Curtis? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Perfectly fine, replied Mr. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis laid her eggs, and I have stuck them on my head. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You are doing a good job, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Oh, a stonefish hidden behind a rock. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Pipe? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Couldn't be better, replied Mr. Pipe. Mrs. Pipe laid her eggs along my belly. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You should feel proud of yourself, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Bullhead? asked Mr. Seahorse. Tip-top, replied Mr. Bullhead. Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs, and the eggs hatched. Now I am babysitting. You are doing a fine job, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. The time had come for the Seahorse's babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted this way and that. At last the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back into the pouch. "Oh, no," said Mr. Seahorse. "I do love you, but now you are ready to be on your own." The end. I hope you enjoyed today's book and learned something new about seahorses. Try out some of the activities that I mentioned. They're in the description on the YouTube link. I hope we can do this again soon, but until then, stay healthy, stay safe, be active, and keep yourselves busy. Bye, friends. And I also found some other resources and activities that you can try out about seahorses. Maybe print out a coloring page to color, or you can meet a seahorse called Cheeto. He kind of looks like a Cheeto. Um, you can do a dot to dot. You can try to draw a seahorse. This is a lesson on how to draw a seahorse. A coloring page, and also you can try to make a connection. And this one up here I skipped. You can go to National Geographic and find some fun facts about seahorses and read some nonfiction about them. All right, friends, I hope everybody enjoyed reading the book today, and we'll see you soon.